Nation of Fitin10, welcome to day 30 of the challenge. Of course, we are into week 5 now, and this is the week that you are not going to quit. Just like any other week in this challenge, you are not going to quit. And the reason I mention this is because historically, people tend to quit during this week. And it's never a large amount of people. I'm just talking about 1, 2, maybe 3 people, depending on the size of the challenge. But people tend to quit during this week, and so I want to remind you that this is not the week that you will quit, nor will you quit any other week. Of course, because the only way you're going to progress is to keep going, right? All right. More questions here. So this person writes, I'm still having problems with my fat intake. I have changed my 2 eggs to 1 egg and egg white instead. I'm surprised the steak I am eating is so high in fat. Okay, so yeah, listen, if you're getting, I'm not sure. I mean, it depends on your calories really, but you know, you're probably getting somewhere between 35, 45, this person in particular, probably somewhere around 40 grams of fat per day, I would think. And yeah, I mean, you've got to really watch your fat intake. And this is why I say usually you don't need to add any fat to any meal. However, I will tell you though that if you're eating fruits and vegetables and so you're eating real whole foods, right? Like fruits and vegetables and your starches, and you're eating lean meats, to get to 40 grams of fat actually would be hard. You'd have to add in some fat into that. So the steak that you're having, yeah, that's probably high in fat. So, you know, just a reminder, if you're, because a lot of cuts of steak are fat. Okay, so if you're eating red meat, my recommendation is sirloin top round or eye of round steak. These are very, very lean. They're as lean as chicken breast. If you're not eating red meat, you know, your white fish, even certain kinds of salmon, you know, your chicken, your turkey, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, all these things, these are all very, very lean. And so you're certainly not going to make up your fat eating those foods. Okay, so just stick with the leaner sources of meats. Again, if you're eating steak, and this is not exhaustive, obviously, these 3, there's more than this, but sirloin tip, top round, and eye round, those are 2 very lean steaks. All right. Water intake is still a problem. Okay, so I'm assuming that maybe you mean enough water. So set yourself up with a benchmark that you think you can attain and then build on that. The more water you drink, okay, I'm assuming you're having a problem getting in enough water here. So the more water you drink over time, the more water you're going to want to drink, because the more water you drink, the more hormone, the more which hormone? I think it's vasopressin. The more of that hormone your body will release to expel water. So in fact, water is actually the strongest diuretic that you can have. All right. So and likewise, if you don't drink enough water, your body will retain water. All right. So my suggestion is, let's just say you're having a hard time getting over a liter. Okay. Well, the next week, say I'm going to get a liter and a quarter every day, and then try to make that happen. To add in an extra cup of water every day is not hard. It's only 8 ounces, right? It's only 250 milliliters. It's very, very easy. So set yourself up and then build yourself up slowly, okay? Through the weeks. Exercise. My first round of high intensity, I do not reach my number until the very end. And then obviously it doesn't come down during the 40 seconds, during the 40-second lower intensity portion. I don't know if this matters. No, this does not matter. We talked about this in the beginning of the challenge. I think if you check out, I think it's probably day 2 video, I talk about it there. It doesn't matter. So you're probably not going to get your heart rate down during that 40-second period. Just use, as the book mentions, just use the intensity that you used for your warm-up, okay? I found the first week easy, heart rate numbers, but started second week a lot more challenging. Yeah, I did ramp up those heart rates. But yeah, just do your best, okay? Do your best, try to get your heart rate up to that higher level during your interval. And again, you want to be implementing things that are going to give you some level of resistance. So like an exercise bike, increasing the level of resistance. If you're outside, then you're probably going to want to jog or maybe do a fast jog, that type of thing, or maybe jog up a hill. So the weather's really not that great. If you're doing something, there's somebody in the challenge that they do actually a rebounder. They have a rebounder, and then they implement, they implement burpees. So as I demand more of them, they try to do their burpees faster, and burpees are a great way to get your heart rate up because you're moving a lot of resistance, right? Again, we're talking about resistance through over time, right? So the more resistance you're trying to push, or the faster you're trying to push that resistance, the more you're going to elevate your heart rate. I would very much appreciate a flow stretch class. There are a few classes I have done that have not had stretching afterwards, which is a problem. I really think some new to the gym people, newly returning people like myself could really benefit from flow routine. Perhaps once or twice a week offering this class, a video of this, a suggestion as to where to get this. Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, this is something that we used to do way back when, but of course then we started to specialize more. There's obviously there's very many aspects to fitness. There is something out there called animal flow. Of course, we're all familiar with yoga or different kinds of yoga, and these can be helpful. We used to have actually a yoga class. Martinez actually has over 500 hours of yoga teaching. But yeah, going through movement with going through full range of movement repeatedly. So you can think of this as, I think I talked about this a number of videos ago, going through range of motion, a full range of motion, and repeating this over and over again is a great way to build up your mobility and flexibility to some degree. So yeah, I mean, stretching after class, to be honest with you, temporarily, yeah, like you might feel good in the moment doing it, and it might, last for, a couple minutes afterwards, but there's just really no suggestion there's no data to suggest that this is of any great value, to be honest with you. But if you want to do it, it's by all means, it's not gonna hurt you, obviously. Okay. How am I doing for time? 7.5 minutes. Really? Okay. Let's get to the message of the day. Message of the day on this day 30: reset, readjust, refocus as many times as you need to. Just don't quit. Reset, readjust, refocus as many times as you need to. Just don't quit. Listen, you're gonna have times or days where you don't feel good mentally. Maybe you feel a bit down, maybe you feel a bit negative, whatever. But don't let these times hold you back. Just like don't let the mistakes that you've made, if you've made any mistakes or whatever, hold you back. This is just part of the process. This is the way it goes. The key is that the secret in being successful, at least one of the secrets of being successful in any endeavor, is to just keep going. You got to keep trying. Okay? Progression, not perfection, right? All right, positive energy, positive vibes, believe in yourself, for the love of God, give some gratitude, and I'll talk to y'all tomorrow.